let's read about Gamergate Returns. I think this is a great one to end on. Gamergate Returns, Collective Shout Editions. Gamergate Returns! I'm going to have to play the video, guys. I'm going to have to play the video. The Palpatine one. Yep. Here comes Shout.
We've decoded the intel from the First Order spy, and it confirms the worst. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Wait.
Somehow Gamergate returned. Somehow Gamergate returned. Apartheid Defense League, so true. Sorry for not saying please, by the way. We are all nosy people, and that's okay. Who's up being nosy? It's crazy that they're like bringing up Gamergate. It's just so crazy. This is nuts. Oscar Isaac had to say that line. You could feel Oscar Isaac was like, good lord. Just give me the Star Wars money. I'm done. Alright, Gamergate returns. Collective Shout Edition. August 9th, 2025. Collective Shout is and registered. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bam. Start with a typo. Amazing. You could tell that they were going to say is an Australian charity, but then they're like, no, we need to make it official. Is and registered. Collective Shout is an registered Australian charity that campaigns against the objectification of women and the sexualization of girls. In July, Collective Shout announced that they had found about 500 games on popular games platform like Steam. Found about 500 games on popular games platforms like Steam and itch.io, which featured child exploitation, rape, and or incest. This is not just a case of quote-unquote adult content. Many of the games were so offensive to common standards of decency in Australia, they would likely be refused classification, making their sale a criminal offense. To be fair, a lot of stuff that's like not that bad is refused classification, so that's a weak argument. Having previously referred a game to the classification board and had its sale in Australia deemed illegal, with the new information of a much wider and systemic problem, Collective Shout published an open letter to payment processing companies, including MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, and other. Oh my god, that's like 2 typos already. Oh my god, this is bad. Payment processing companies, card networks, and banks have rules prohibiting the use of their services for certain kinds of transactions. Collective Shout argued these games fell within the prohibited categories and called on the payment processors to cease providing services to games platforms until they stopped selling games that involved child exploitation, rape, or incest. I think it's interesting. Wait. On popular games platforms? It's game platforms. To games platforms until they stop selling games that involve child exploitation, rape, or incest. The payment platforms responded and called on platforms to remove... Wait, it's supposed to be payment processors. I mean, like, you can use platforms, but oh my... This is a really weird statement. The payment platforms responded and called on platforms to remove content that breached the payment platform's terms of service. Oh my god. Thank you for the follow, 4 Games platforms removed thousands of games in response. Misinformation spread claiming the removals were a result of a women's group seeking to censor all form of adult content, leading anger over censorship, more generally at women interfering in what some men think of as quote-unquote their space. Some gamers responded by launching volumetric attacks targeting Collective Shout, its staff, and its directors with a misogynistic harassment campaign. The Online Hate Prevention Institute has in the past worked with Collective Shout on work tackling misogyny. We reached out to offer support and find out more. As a result, we have reviewed a lot of the abuse they have received, both the public content and through private messages, and assisted them and the social media companies in responding to the death threats, threats of rape, and threats of doxing to facilitate others carrying out real-world violence. These are serious issues and need a strong response. The remainder of this article provides further details and responses to questions we have put to Collective Shout. What? Why are there so many typos? Why can no one on the censorship of this edit? There's so many typos. This is just 4 paragraphs in. It really feels like they just kind of threw this together. Like, also, there's just weird words used, like payment platforms. About Collective Shout. Collective Shout is a registered Australian charity in good standing. They are a few years older than OHPI, having started back in 2009, describe themselves as, quote, a grassroots campaigns movement. A grassroots campaigns movement. I don't think that's how they describe themselves. Hold on. Oh, no, they do say a grassroots campaigns movement. Oh, that's a weird phrase. A collective shout against the objectification of women, the sexualization of girls in media, advertising, and popular culture, which seeks to, quote, bring about cultural change to uphold the value of women and girls. About Collective Shout's campaign. On July 14th, an open letter from Collective Shout to payment platforms like Visa and MasterCard asked the recipients to, quote, cease processing payments on gaming platforms which host rape, incest, and child sexual abuse-themed games. One of the games Collective Shout used as example was reviewed by the Australian Classification Board and then refused classification, making it illegal in Australia due to its extreme content. It's very telling that they're not mentioning No Mercy at all, because like even popular perception of No Mercy is changing. Like people are now starting to feel like maybe that game wasn't that bad. The letter notes how the game and others were found on the gaming platforms Steam and itch.io. Collective Shout's research found hundreds of games on the platforms that featured rape, sexual torture, and incest, and noted that many of them would breach Australian classification laws. In response, Steam and itch.io have now acted to remove thousands of games? I don't think it's been thousands. In the letter, Collective Shout said, quote, many of these games would breach Australian classification laws. Quote, this means they are so... Oh, wait, no. Well, itch.io. But actually, now that I think of it, but... I mean, like, de-index. It's not even removed. This is such a mess of a letter. In the letter, Collective Shout said, quote, many of these games would breach Australian classification laws. This means they are so extreme they wouldn't qualify for a restricted R18 or restricted X18 plus rating from the Australian Classification Board, but would instead be rated refused classification RC. R18 plus materials, quote, contain content that may be offensive to sections of the adult community. Well, X18 plus materials, quote, contain sexually explicit activity including actual sexual intercourse or other sexual activity between consenting adults. The Australian Classification Board explains refused classification refers to films, computer games, and publications that cannot be sold, hired, advertised, or legally imported into Australia. Material classified RC contains content that is outside generally acceptable community standards and exceeds what can be included in the R18 plus and X18 plus ratings. This is just basically a very fancy way of like avoiding specifically talking about specific games because Collective Shout won't clarify what games they found as like being the problem games. And so they're instead trying to scare the public by saying, ooh, these games are spooky and extreme, instead of being honest about what's actually in the games. This is also pretty fucked up. The letter talks about games that involve the letter talks about games that involve Where's the copy editor? Bro, this is so badly written. The letter talks about games that involve violent sexual torture of women and children, including incest-related abuse involving family members, which is likely to be given a refused classification rating by the Australian Classification Board. Q&A. I'll read chat first. I am human person who care much about women. Wait. Let me turn on the robot filter. Let me turn on Robot Anna. I am a human person who cares much about women. Oh, Collective Shout absolutely describes itself as grassroots. I was wondering whether the campaigns had a typo, the word. Didn't she say at the beginning of this article that Collective Shout only flagged 500 games? So yes, they probably were referencing of the thousands, like all the itch.io games that were de-indexed. But like, you would think if like, okay, like if a supposed charity flags like almost 500 games that are like sus and cringe, like I think it's pretty understandable that they eventually tell someone what's on the list, unless there's no list, in which case if there's no fucking list then like they're liars, and I highly suspect there's no list, or if there is it's only like 50 games, or like they're just straight up lied about a lot of content on the games removed. Games that involve God, so they target games that feature games within the games itself that would be considered nasty. They need an editor. I mean, I sometimes make typos, but like that occasion, but at least I try to fix it. Yeah, even as like a published writer, like I have published stuff that has 1 or 2 typos, sometimes more if it's like I'm not feeling really good, like if I'm sick or I rushed copy, but never like this. Like this is just like, this feels like they wrote it, maybe edited it once, and then hit pub, which is crazy. It almost feels like they were pressured to get this out ASAP. Or someone wrote this under pressure, which is very likely. Like I could see Collective Shout having actually written this copy or like written some of it, or maybe someone connected that's been dealing with harassment. And then under pressure, they put out something really bad. Like I could see that happening. Or just like they were put under pressure to put this out. I don't know. But it just like these kind of sloppy mistakes in my eyes tend to come from people who are feeling pressure to do something. And case in point, when Collective Shout put out that one timeline that was like male gamer reached out to us, like it felt like they did it under pressure. So, by the way, it's great to have you, Yuki the Snow Cobbit. How are you doing? You having a good day? I highly suspect that there's no list. Anna Valens. Oh no! No, I'm not switching to. I'm not becoming a Pedicon grifter. If there's no list, why did the number go from 500 to thousands? Well, they said 500 on Steam, if I recall correctly. But then Itch.io like just delisted a ton of games, so they're treating it like all of them were removed or something. Money, it's money. They're not harassed. I'm now Gobsoft girl. Who's up with their gob? Q&A, can you give us an idea of what sort of games would fall from the refused classification rating? Okay, we're gonna skip this part. Who decided which games would be removed? Did you provide a list of games that were of concern to Steam and Itch.io? This is OHPI asking Collective Shout. And they just blanket removing them all? Or have the companies reviewed the offering themselves and made the decision of what they will remove? Collective Shout. We called on payment processors to stop processing payments on gaming platforms like Steam and Itch.io that host rape, incest, and child abuse themed games. While we noted we had found almost 500 games tagged with rape or incest, we did not determine what games were removed and were not privy to those discussions. OHPI. You mentioned over email that your team had each been personally target with abuse, with some of the worst being threats of rape, death threats, doxing, accusation of pedophilia and covering for pedophiles, and deep fake porn made of you. It sounds absolutely horrific for everyone involved, and frankly like Gamergate on steroids. It sounds overwhelming. Can you describe 3 of the instances of cyber abuse you have experienced in more detail? The following are from some of our team members sharing their experiences. So this is from Collective Shout. When I Googled my email address, I found my name and photo on 4chan. My work email address was listed, along with a few others taken from our website and media releases with the words rape them underneath. One user wrote that he planned to stab me. Another shared an image of a person hanging from a noose alongside my name. One shared my photo taken from my Twitter X profile and asked who wanted to make a cum tribute to me, where a man ejaculates on a photo of a woman. A man on Twitter X began following me and making threats against the women on our team. In a tweet, he published a list of all the staff on our small women-only team alongside the test have fun with this list, y'all fight until they're dead. Using the Grok AI feature, the man asked where one team member lived. He asked Grok where I like to get coffee. He also sent threats, including his desire to rape and murder the women on our team and to, quote, rape, hogtie, and fillet us. An email that was sent to my work address, one of many, referenced our campaign against Steam and asked me what I was going to do when they found me IRL. Would I run and hide? I mean, like, obviously, people taking things too far is, like, fucked up and, like, shouldn't happen. But, I mean, I think it's important to note that, like, Collective Shout facing any sort of harassment, obviously bad. People should, like, be normal towards them. Like, you should hate, like, their policies and what they're trying to do to us, not necessarily, like, tell them to, like, go kill themselves. But I think it's always important to remember that Collective Shout is always going to take, like, this stuff happening to them and make it about, like, how they're, like, right and correct. You know? But obviously this is, like, bad stuff that shouldn't be happening, you know? Now, how true is all of it? How accurate? I don't know. But you know me. I'm always going to tell you, like, don't act like this. This is, like, don't act like this. What was the initial reaction to this? Collective shout, a staff member's response. My initial reaction was a sense of dread. This isn't a fair fight. We're a handful of women being targeted in a global campaign of misogynistic abuse by hundreds of thousands of anonymous men. See, this is exactly what I mean, right? Like, okay, if all three of these, let's assume all three of these instances are actually real. And I could see them plausibly being real because some people are taking it too far. They're framing this as like, you know, they're acting as if someone like myself, you know, i.e. a woman who doesn't like collective shout at all, it doesn't exist. And they're framing like any criticism of the free speech elements of this as actually just hundreds of thousands of anonymous men harassing them. They're acting like anyone who's upset with collective shout is acting like this. Like they're conflating this, you know, which is not great. There's a sense of powerlessness because it's impossible to fight back. It's barely possible to track or record all the threats. It's frightening because you don't know if someone will follow through on a threat. It only takes one. I mean, okay, here's the thing, right? Obviously, facing like this kind of harassment sucks, right? But on the other hand, when they make it about like, oh, it's not a fair fight. Oh, it's not a fair fight. I mean, like they're getting interviewed by like a fellow major charity in Australia. Okay. Like, and they literally got like tons of people's like livelihoods like wrecked. Like they have no sense of shame in their own ability to like.
This is a feminist issue because we are a small gang of prudes. I mean, group of women.
Mm-hmm. I wish these people would take the time, and they'll never do this. The collective shout will never admit the livelihoods of like so many adult content creators they're actively destroying right now. And those content creators feel like this isn't a fair fight because MasterCard and Visa is coming and stepping on them. So like I obviously feel bad if like people at collective shout are facing like harassment and like doxing and stuff. Like that stuff's fucked up. I've been through like getting harassed like crazy on the internet, but like, you know, you'd hope that this would be a moment where they also like are empathetic to the lives they have ruined, but no, they don't care. They don't care about like ruining like, you know, an adult content creator's like ability to pay rent. They don't care about the fact that like so many people I see on Blue Sky are saying they're being like, I need money really badly because I can't sell my itch games right now. Like they don't care. They don't care. They don't care at all. Collective shout, team members' response to how has this impacted you? It is completely overwhelming. Attempting to moderate comments, block, delete, report, or report to authorities takes so much time. It is also relentless with no end in sight. It's really difficult to set appropriate boundaries with screen time and step away or take any time off because the abuse doesn't stop. Every morning I wake early with a sense of dread. What new disasters happen overnight? Okay, guys. Just log off. It gets so much easier if you just log off. It actually, okay, like the whole like, what was it like the Tyler Creator, like it's like what was the Tyler Creator tweet? You all know the Tyler Creator tweet. Like cyberbullying is real and like dealing with hate is real, but it really does, and it like will fuck you up even if you're off the internet, but it actually does get easier if you just learn like how to not look at it when you're facing it. Like honest to God, when I get hate on Twitter or even Blue Sky, I just like turn off my phone and go do something else. I'm like, all right, and then I just go watch YouTube videos and eat like McDonald's. Like at some point, like this is a little bit of a skill issue. Like you kind of need to do that. I think no better example of collective shout also mismanaging the crisis aspect of this is how they like shut down they privated their Twitter, but then on LinkedIn they started bragging, and then they're like bragging on their websites and bragging on like interviews. Like that one article I read where they were bragging about like, oh, like we'll get a win out of this. It's like you just have to like shut the fuck up for a little bit. Like you just have to shut the fuck up. Like collective shout, by doing like collective shout has that mindset that like people have never done with an internet hate never dealt with an internet hate campaign have. It actually reminds me a lot of what the VTards are going through right now. Like the VTards are breaking up right now because like, you know, they got doxxed and just a bunch of other crazy shit. And the VTards, like all of the members of the VTards don't know how to handle it because they're not used to dealing with online hate the way someone like I am Ara. I don't know. They're not used to dealing with online hate the way someone like myself is. There we go. So a lot of them feel like they need to post through all of it, and they feel like they need to like try to get a one up and stuff like that. The way to deal with this online hate Collective Shout has the same issue. The way to deal with this, like this kind of stuff, is to just be off the internet for a little bit. Like actively be off the internet. Don't post that much and just go do something else. Like it actually will start to dissipate because you just starve it of oxygen. There's also fear. I fear for my safety.
Are used to delivering hate, not receiving the hate.
There's also fear. I fear for my safety. I fear for the safety of my children, for all of my colleagues. I fear for our mental health. It's not easy being on the receiving end of a sustained targeted campaign of hate. It's frustrating to see lies and misinformation being spread about our team and our work, and I have no way to respond or defend ourselves. Guys, look, okay. It's one thing if, like, there's harassing comments that are, like, character attacks that are, like, not based in reality, sure. But you guys have been operating in lies and misinformation on this whole entire issue from the jump. Starting with No Mercy. And NCOS even longer. And you guys even longer, too. Beyond even Steam. Like, you can't pull this line out when you guys are known to just lie about shit. I'm also feeling a sense of hopelessness and despair. When I went to the police, I was sent away with a cyber safety pamphlet. EU Safety responds that most of our reports are not actionable. Social media platforms rarely remove anything, and if they do, it's after the damage has been done. It feels like there are no real protections for women and girls online, and I worry this abuse towards us will have a chilling effect on women speaking out more generally because they know not only what potentially awaits them, but they are also seeing, just as our abusers are, that there are no consequences for perpetrators of abuse. I am a woman speaking out. What are you talking about? I have actively been louder than ever on the internet because of how awful you guys are to my friends and loved ones. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you... Look, the message a lot of people get is not that, like, women get harassed because of this. The message is that, like, if you're, like, attack people's livelihoods, like, you might deal with a lot of... You might, like, get a strong response to that. I think that's the takeaway most people have in this instance. Like, I hate to put it this way, but this actually is cry bullying, guys. Like, this actually is. This is, like, what cry bullies do. They try to bully someone, and then they get so upset that the bullying backfired. Like, this is actual textbook cry bullying. I wonder if MasterCard also thinks their customers commit SA. Anna blocks rage with nuggies. Ha ha ha, cyberbullying ain't real. Look away from the screen. Closed captions being oof. What do they expect? No, they don't. They don't fear anything. It's just white woman tears, yeah. They think only guys are after them. Hopeless despair. Oh god. Oh dear, the poor. What is this I apply thing? What's the I apply thing, little Siberian bear? How's it going, Yaruko? We're reading... What's this called again? Gamergate Returns Collective Shout Edition. It is a clusterfuck of copy editing... It is a clusterfuck featuring a far significant amount of lack of copy editing. It's crazy. Okay. I want chicken nuggies now. Okay. No real protections for women and girls online. I worry that abuse towards us will have a chilling effect on women. Blah, 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 blah. Just abuse are no consequences for perpetrators of abuse. The level of abuse directed towards women who speak out against men's violence and abuse of women shows exactly why our work is necessary. See, this is exactly it, though. Like, they use this stuff to say, like, see? This proves that, like, everyone that hates us are actually just, like, misogynistic men. It's like, no. Like, a lot of people are very upset with Collective Shout because we see you guys as, like, ruining the livelihoods of many people because they're adult content creators and sex workers. These guys are legitimately cry bullies. Like, that's actually how it works. Somehow, cry bullying returned. Num geese. Num 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 yum num num. What can people do to help? God, I hope nothing. Over the course of this campaign and others before it, we've identified key actions that can significantly impact our advocacy efforts and combat targeted abuse. Even committing to just one practical step from the actions below directly strengthens our efforts, helps protect our team, and sends a clear, united message. Combat misinformation. Share accurate, verified information from our website. It's not a cult, guys. It's not a swerve cult. Trust me. And social media accounts, whenever you see false claims circulating online, we're the only... Okay, this is basically saying we're the only trustworthy source on this. Correct false narratives, focusing on facts rather than engaging in arguments with trolls. How do you say that when you're sitting there being like, I can't log off the internet, dude? Also, this is guys. This is a crazy thing to state. With no end in sight, it's really difficult to set appropriate boundaries with screen time and step away or take any time off because the abuse doesn't stop. Every morning I wake early with a sense of dread. What new disasters happen overnight? Guys, I want you really quickly, guys. Anna Vallen's like anti-harassment training moment right here, right now. Okay, we're going to have a very brief, serious conversation. If you are being harassed on the internet, never, ever, ever admit that it's getting to you. Not in a million years. Step one, if you're being harassed on the internet, don't acknowledge any of it. Don't reply to any of it. Guys, have you noticed that I get harassed significantly less on Twitter now? Why do you guys think that happened? Because ever since July 4th, I decided to not reply to any of it anymore and just like ignore all of it. I don't even know anymore what people say about me. I just don't look. Like, I just don't look and I don't care. And like, I'll occasionally see someone saying something crazy. I'll be like, oh, lol. Like, don't acknowledge it. Don't reply to it. But if you do reply to it, the next step, if you fuck that one up, is don't acknowledge that it's getting to you. Please, I'm begging you, never do that. Never, ever do that. Never, ever. These Karens need an internet crisis expert ASAP, because this is one of the worst things you can possibly ever admit. It's really difficult to set appropriate boundaries of screen time and step away or take any time off. Every morning I wake early with a sense of dread. What new disasters happen overnight? This is catnip to people that love internet drama. Why? Because they're being told the crazy shit they're doing is getting to you. And so they're getting a response. This is the equivalent of MasterCard telling Riot to censor stuff and MasterCard putting out the statement about games, right? What you're saying is, by the way, I'm noticing and it's getting to me. If you never acknowledge that you're getting hate, people don't know if it's getting to you, and people don't even know if you know. Like, that's why it's important to put out the silent stone front, because people don't know how you feel, so they'll stop. They'll assume that you're not seeing them or you don't care. And it stops the hate. Like, it actually does. Like, truly do not feed the trolls. Get off the internet. It is the only way to deal with this stuff. Yes, there's certain times when, like, crazy hate campaigns need, like, a public statement to address it. And then you stop. But, like, this is crazy. This is like, they need some adult to come into the room and tell these girls to stop fucking posting. Stop posting! 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 They need some WASP retreat and some spa resort seminars on how to internet. They really do. Feeding the trolls makes one a lolcow and CS is fast packing that. Yeah. Hey, Porcelain Giant, do not... Like, all this collective shout stuff is just such a good example of what not to do. What are, like, the main rules we've learned from all of this? If you are ever in an online controversy, I will answer them for you. 1, if you think that's, even if you're proud of something you did, if you think acknowledging it will make your life miserable, don't acknowledge it. Don't acknowledge it publicly. 2, if people are hating on you, put the phone down and go do something else until it goes away. 3, don't reply. If you have a burning, urgent need to correct something, it's one statement and you stop. And 4, most important of all, never tell anyone that it's getting to you, because it will get worse. It will get a bajillion% worse. This is my crash course on how to deal with this shit. Why do you think that, like, I don't deal with, like, nearly as much hate on Twitter anymore? It's because I don't respond to any of it. Also because I kind of don't care anymore. Like, it's just like losers on the internet getting mad. 1, shut the fuck up. Like, actually true though. Like, so many things in life are solved by just shutting the fuck up. These people are making it worse for themselves because they keep bragging and they're trying to, like, win. Like, people lose online trolling and make themselves like become the laughing stock of the internet because they think like they can win. Like they have this idea like they can win when someone is yelling at them.
Mommy, I'm gonna need post my all the pics of you abusing me, like making me shower and eating my veggies.
Oh my god. Pet, no, you're gonna get me canceled again. I can't acknowledge how large and massive and satisfying my partner's my junk is because I am uncertain if people will tease me. What a statement from my own mod. Oh, I learned the hard way myself. My life was miserable for a bit. You know what? I examined myself and dropped the behavior that got me into that crap. I'm a lot happier now. Life gets a lot easier when you both like don't self-sabotage on the internet. Like I try to avoid like doing that as much, but also just like if people hate on you, you just ignore it. I'll get like crazy DMs and I just like don't respond. To the point where like I don't even see some DMs I get anymore. I'm like, I see like a week later, I'm like, oh, that was funny. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm not owned, guys. I'm not owned. Keyword introspection real. Well, these Karens have been like enabled by institutions for the longest time, and like they've been able to like lie about like video games and stuff like that and have people support them. So they've kind of like been what's the right term? I think a lot of these people are pathological liars. Like that's how swerfs tend to operate. They lie to themselves and each other, and they believe their own lies. And like they're also having a really hard time, thus knowing how to like handle this, because I'm sure they're getting advice to like get off the internet, and they're probably like, no, we have to show the world what we're dealing with. And it's like, you actually don't. Like, no one really respects you. The idea that like, oh, only share information from us is so funny, by the way. Like, notice how they say, like, don't share any information from journalists. Like, they're basically saying, like, oh, yeah, whatever news reports you see, ignore. It's only from us and our social media. That's so crazy. It's because they know they're losing with the media. Like, they can't do, like, a lot of media interviews now. They have to go with, like, some other charity who's going to, like, say that this is Gamergate 2. Amplify your message. Sign and share collective shout-led petition. Oh, my God. This is like an ad. And campaign actions regularly shared across our social media platforms. Thank you for the follow, Erebus Cardaceus. I appreciate it. Delulu, Pet Waspy Woman, real. Amplifying our campaigns publicly reaffirms our vision and mission and directly counters misinformation spread by those attempting to distort or undermine our efforts. Financially support advocacy and protections. Consider setting up a small recurring donation. Oh, the grift is so strong. Oh, mamma mia, what a grift. To support ongoing campaigns, legal advocacy, and efforts to document and respond to online abuse. Share fundraising appeals widely within your networks to amplify Collective Shout's work. Even if you can't donate personally. What a grift. Thank you, Rebus. I hope you're doing well. It's great to have you. It's great to have you, sweetie. How do we get community notes to show up on websites? Real. We need that as a thing. The fact they're so desperate to create a Gamergate 2.0 shows how little they understand the original. So true. This has go fund the racist into a millionaire vibes. Real. Report threats, harassment, doxing, and abusive content immediately through social media reporting tools. Select the appropriate categories, such as threats of violence, harassment, or hate speech, to improve the likelihood of action. Social media platforms can be frustratingly inconsistent, but more reports equal increased pressure on platforms to act. Public solidarity. Publicly acknowledge and thank those speaking out against the objectification of women, sexualized violence, and the misogyny that fuels online abuse. Tagging Collective Shout and using supportive hashtags. This is so boomer. Privately reach out with messages of support. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is really getting to them. That's a crazy thing for a charity to say. This is really getting to them. Additional analysis. The attention directed to Collective Shout over the game ban has spread to other discussions. Incitement to violence on Reddit. Luigi posting. Luigi posting. Bro. The LGBTQIA community is manipulated. Oh my god. Blue Sky users don't appear to be directly contacting members of Collective Shout. However, they are pushing a narrative of Collective Shout as being part of a broader fascist movement to suppress my... Oh, these guys are big mad. 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 These guys are reading everything that people are saying about them online. This is like Karen levels. Oh my god. Nothing like good old island roasting. This is really getting to them. Insert Gambino good. Give. Holy fuck. Incitement to violence on Reddit. An otherwise sensible Reddit discussion of proposed internet ID laws in Australia linked to this tweet containing disinformation about members of Collective Shout. Oh, The Guardian has covered the Collective Shout. Wait, this is a Twitter. This is Twitter. What? This is Twitter. That's not Reddit, that's Twitter. That's not Reddit at all. Bro, this is not Reddit. This is actively Twitter. Like you could see the subscribe button and the Grok symbol. What is going on? What is going on? This is a fever dream. There's so many typos, and now they're just straight up saying that Twitter is Reddit. What is? Oh, this is like getting to them. Oh my god. This led to multiple instances of Luigi posting in the replies. And it's just like 2 tweets. The removal of games from the indie games store itch.io in particular also aroused anger in the LGBTQIA plus community, coming on the heels of various attempted bans on LGBTQIA related materials in libraries and schools in the US. This was immediately categorized on Blue Sky as another religious conservative attack on LGBTQIA media. For the record, I don't believe any of what's happening is the genuine interest of quote-unquote protecting kids. It's fascism in a shit disguise. I'm just mad, and there are too many sources of anguish. I'm tired of waking up every morning expecting to see the final headline that says we can't make art. It's all laid out in Project 2025. I mean, yeah, this is all accurate. This is all accurate. Like, none of this is wrong. Like, all of this is connected. Like, Collective Shout or Swerfs. I'm sorry that you guys got called out. Conclusion. The Online Hate Prevention Institute has been shocked by both the extreme nature and volume of the content we have seen attacking Collective Shout, the women who work there, and those that serve on its board of directors. The connect comes from accounts across multiple platforms. In some cases, new throwaway accounts have been created in an effort to anonymously post threats while trying to avoid any consequences. There are serious cases of cyberspace harassment, and there needs to be government responses, including international cooperation between law enforcement agencies. That's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening. That's just not. I'm sorry, but like people saying weird things over the internet, like there is actually a limit to which it can be federally investigated or internationally investigated. Like, yeah, like saying weird, mean things over the internet is bad, but there really truly is a limit to which like there can be an international like Interpol investigation. Like there is a line that has to be crossed, and like it usually involves like something physically happening in real life. It's just how it is. Like, that's just how it happens. Threats of death and rape are not quote-unquote free speech, not even in the United States, where some of the trolls clearly come from. Is this racism against America, chat? Is this racism against America? This is an evolving story, and we will continue to provide support to Collective Shout and to monitoring the situation. We will continue to provide support to Collective Shout and to monitoring the situation. What a nice cherry. Just such bad copy editing. Oh my god. Okay, this is a mess. This is a mess, guys. This is a really bad blog post. There are so many typos. There is like an insane amount of typos. It's basically telling people like don't believe the mainstream media, just believe Collective Shout. Oh, and by the way, also they fucking misnamed Twitter and call it Reddit. This is so bad. Oh, good, Nyaruko. Good to have you. Really having their moldy bile bag witch has mask taken off moment. You think they're just lying? I think it's likely that they're facing some harassment, but it's like being massively blown out of proportion. They hate America, racism against America. Wait until the MAGA people see this. They're gonna get so mad. Funny that they shared actual screenshots of posts that weren't threatening at all, but not the ones that were described earlier in the article. Yeah, it's so interesting that like these posts get quoted, right? And it's like, oh, 4chan was mean to me. But then like over here, there's like just like there's like a couple like poorly reacted with posts. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Gamergate 2.0, folks. You thought Gamergate was bad? Somehow, Gamergate's returned. Holy fuck. Collective Shout is just like... They seriously need to hire like a crisis manager. Like they just need to hire someone that will tell them, stop fucking posting. Right? They just need to hire someone that will tell them like, stop fucking posting. They need that so badly. They need that so badly. They need that so badly.